welcome back to the Gorillas Problem series, and today we will be discussing everyone's favorite martial artist named after a dish, Noodle. Hi, I'm Coco, by the way. Forgot to mention that. If you haven't watched the first video, then it's not really needed to understand this one, but it would be appreciated if you checked it out. Sorry about the wait, guys. Again, this one was, extra long. But yeah, I've just been busy with a lot of other things, but I'm fine. We're all good. Yada yada yada. Just like the last video, I will be discussing what I don't like about how Noodle is utilized in Gorillas, and then the fandom itself and the problems I have with the fandom. Unlike the Russell video, which focused mainly on one major problem, Noodle has a more wide array of issues. Some similar problems do pop up again, like she also suffers from being overshadowed by 2D and Murdoch and lacking in content in later phases, but like I stated, she has some more specific issues that will be addressed later. Okay, enough with the casualties, let's get into the nitty-gritty and dissect our favorite gal. I just want to start with an issue we have all seen before. Say it with me, Noodle isn't given much content in later phases. Yeah, we've seen it all before. As far as I could find, she's also not given any audible dialogue in Phase 7, although she is very front and center during the new Mountain music video, so props for that. However, I do think the reason for her being put on the back burner is different than Russ's. Russell has never been on high demand from fans, so the writers never saw a reason to make him the main focus in later phases, but Noodle's different. She's quite beloved by the fans, and she was given a lot of content in early phases, but then she had to grow up. I'll talk about how the fan base plays a part into this later, but Noodle growing up ultimately led to her character shooting herself in the foot because her being the baby of the group was so important to how she acted and more importantly how she was perceived. Noodle, in the first two phases, was shown to be a happy, energetic kid who could also think very introspectively about life and be mature. I mean, hello, she literally wrote Demon Days. However, when she became an adult, I feel like the writers didn't really know what to do with her personality. I mean, they couldn't keep her acting like a 10-year-old, obviously, but she just seems like a shell of her old self now. Is she supposed to be badass, still cute? The writers didn't really know what to do with her, so they just didn't give her much to do. I mean, they brought back Baby Noodle for the new music video, which everybody loves, me included, but I do think part of the decision to show young Noodle again might have been slightly for nostalgia bait. Okay, for this next point, I want to make this extremely clear. I am not Asian. At all. And I don't want to talk and decide for a group of people that I am not a part of, what's offensive and what's not offensive. Cool. The fundamental branches of Noodle's character are pretty objectively stereotypical. I mean, she's literally a Japanese girl given the name Noodle who does karate. Unlike majority of issues with this band, this problem is mostly derived from the earlier phases, specifically phase 1. I mean, her character design is not great. She has lines for her eyes, these bulging teeth, and she's always wearing some oversized parka and shorts. During phase 2, Jamie does give her some actual clothes, and she is sometimes drawn with actual eyes if they're not hidden under her bangs. Okay, I get it. It was the early 2000s when Jamie designed these characters, and majority of Noodle's stereotypical physical traits have all been fixed in newer phases. But the bottom line is, at best, Noodle can be a little stereotypical at times, and at the absolute worst, her character can be racist. Again, whether or not Noodle's character is racially problematic isn't up to me. I just wanted to point out the objective stereotypical problems I have found with her. Okay, now onto an issue I can speak more thoroughly about, whether or not I think Noodle is sexist. Look, I personally do not care if adult Noodle is portrayed wearing revealing clothing. I just start to have a problem whenever it becomes unnecessarily sexually charged, which doesn't happen majority of the time. I'm not trying to claim that Jamie's a pervert, okay? He definitely likes drawing women provocatively. I mean, have you seen Tangirl? But I don't think he's trying to be nefarious. Anyways, I can't think of any instances where Noodle was sexualized during the phases when she was a child, thankfully, including the new music video. However, in later phases, there are some specific examples that I find a little questionable. Jamie really does like to put her in the shortest shorts imaginable, which she's not the only one. However, I start having a problem with it whenever I'm forced to look up a girl's legs that we've known since she was 10 years old. And I understand a lot of people argue that, oh, Murdoch is shown as naked half the time, but the second Noodle wears something slightly inappropriate is a problem, which, yeah, Murdoch is portrayed as doing extremely inappropriate things, and Noodle can technically
do whatever
she wants now that she's an adult. However, Noodle, personality-wise, is not sexual, unlike Murdoch, who's horny all the time. So it makes sense that he's doing freaky crap. I don't think that Noodle is sexist, and I don't think Jamie objectifies her, but I still hate this specific drawing of her. A more egregious example of Noodle being used in a very uncomfortable way was from several months ago, and I'm sure majority of y'all remember exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to dwell too much on this incident because it was gross, and also I don't feel as if I'm the right person to go in depth about this type of subject matter, so we're gonna skim through it. Basically, Gorillaz was posting about all the stuff that happened to the individual members after Plastic Beach and before Humans. Now every single other member story was practically the same as what was stated back during Phase 4, but they had a different idea for Noodle. I'm going to put it up on the screen, but basically the original story that was stated back during Phase 4 was Noodle ended up in Japan and then became a pearl diver. I don't know, it was weird. And then she accidentally unleashed a shape-shifting demon. After years of searching for the demon, she tracked him down in Tokyo and then decapitated him. That's all you really have to know, but the new version of the story that was posted was completely different. I don't want to read it out loud, so I'm just going to, again, put it up on screen for you guys to read, and yeah, it's bad. Changing the lore to this was completely unnecessary and in very, very poor taste, and nobody liked it. Thankfully, it was deleted due to all of the immediate backlash, but there was never an explanation given as to whether or not it was an accident or they actually were going to change the lore to that. Either way, they did fix it, but this piled on with everything else just goes to show that Noodle can be very misused as a character at times, which really sucks because she is my second favorite member and, like Russell, has some serious missed potential. That all out of the way, let's get to the fans. Like before, Noodle suffers from not being Murdoch or Tootie, although it's definitely to a much lesser degree than Russell. Noodle does get quite a bit of attention from fans, but again, people definitely seem to prefer pre-Phase 4 Noodle or young Noodle over adult Noodle. This issue, I think, derives from, again, the writers not giving Noodle a lot to do in these phases, so people just don't care about her that much anymore. Also, I think people just prefer her when she was, you know, the cute one or whatever, but I mean, she couldn't stay a kid forever, so I think it's unfair to prefer younger Noodle so much over adult Noodle. Even still, she is pretty popular among fans, which can make its own issues, as it seems. I didn't get to talk about the mischaracterization of Russell from fans because he's barely characterized at all, but Noodle can sometimes be very misrepresented by fans. She can be portrayed as overly cutesy and almost like a stereotypical anime character. She's not, you know, how she acts at all. However, I do think fans more recently have portrayed her more accurately in fan works, so good job. Well, that is if she isn't being shipped with any of the other band members. Yeah, sadly, the internet just can't see Gorillaz as a weird kind of found family situation. They have to make it gross. I hate Tudok. Okay, y'all know I hate Tudok, but at least Tudok doesn't feel illegal. Unlike the other most popular ship, Doodle or whatever the hell. Yeah, I don't care if Noodle's technically an adult now. If you're shipping her with the other members, then you should be put on a watch list point blank. And it sucks that Noodle is probably the most shipped character out of all the members of Gorillaz, which is absolutely horrifying. The community can also be guilty of sexualizing her even when she was a child, which is just what the internet does, sadly, when they see any female character. Again, Noodle is an adult now, she can do adult things, but it's not just adult Noodle who gets unwanted attention. It sucks that the only female member of Gorillaz who was a child when she first entered the band gets treated like this, but the internet is just horrible sometimes. Anyways, guys, that's all I really have to say about my gal pal Noodle. And I do really love all the stuff she got to do in the new music video. She was absolutely adorable and just amazing, and I love her so much. And so should you, okay? So, yeah, go show my girl Noodle some love, because again, like Russell, she is underappreciated, especially nowadays. And yeah, with that all out of the way, it's time for me to go, so...
Thank you, and see you soon!